Hello folks, this is AP the Weird One, and we are back with another Digimon Liberator video. So, what are we going to be talking about today? Well, I've been racking my brain out for what the final character, well, at least one of the characters, partner Digimon for the series is. We have Yuki, we know Winir, we know Suzune, we know Rios, Ritor, I think his, give me one sec. We know Ryotaro, but there's a couple other characters we do not know. This is one of the NPCs. We're not going to worry about that, and we're not going to worry about Zenith. We are concerned with this girl and this girl, potentially a guy. Do we know who these are? Actually, we do. We've heard a character be named Ultea by both Yuki and Ryotaro, and even Suzune to an extent. This girl, we know this girl to be Ultea because we know who Unchained is, or at least a description. In 4-2, she looked in the direction that the Yuki was pointing. There stood an immaculate-looking man with white hair, cool boy, talking about something with a blonde girl wearing a straight jacket, although it might have been a boy. That was Unchained. Based on this description, this is Unchained because it looks like he's in a straight jacket, or she, whatever. Now, what decks are they going to use? Well, we do know that Ultea has been mentioned seeing around as Espeon in chapter 1 debug, chapter 1-2 of debug. So we know that. And if we look to relationships, we'll go over here. This is what it looks like. Given the position that it's red, and given that cyborgs and various other Digimon are both black and red, it's to be assumed this is going to be Ultea. This would kind of fit nicely with everybody else over here. And this person off to the very side, which we don't have a lot of interaction with, is going to be Unchained, with this being the NPC. Or NPC. So that is my thought process with these characters. It could be a little bit of reverse, but let's go over the possibilities. We're going to assume this is Unchained, and we'll assume this is Ultea because Ultea has an Espeon. For a quick moment, let's go to the sources. All right, we are here. I know the picture is not great of Ultea, but this is what we got, and it even looks like she would have an Espeon. So her partner is going to be Espeon. Most likely will digivolve into Hover Espeon because Hover Espeon does not have a Mega or an Ultimate as well. So there is going to be red, but probably similar to that of Suzune. They're most likely it's gonna be kind of like a black-red deck. What are we looking at though? Well, in terms of what the possibilities are, my first possibility is gonna be either like a Guardramon deck, maybe Machine Dramon. Although Machine Dramon we're gonna cut back to another possibility with Machine Dramon in just a sec, but it could be some sort of sideboard Digimon using Hyandramon, maybe Solarmon, Guardramon, something of that flavor. She's going to have some bit of a flavor of that deck. Possibly blocker. It could just be just generic blocker, somehow calling forth a whole bunch of blockers. That could be another possibility. It could also just be a whole bunch of cyborg fusing, making some sort of weird Espeon Mega or whatever. But given that these all have full evolutionary lines and not so much of the Jagras, that is my thought process. Next up, given that's red and we've seen some support for, and there is already for, we're going to be seeing a little bit more. It could be Millenniumon. I'm not high on this list because I think, well, one, we're getting some Millenniumon support in BT19. We're going to see Zed Millenniumon and Moon Millenniumon. And I think there's going to be some white cards as well that are interactive with Will. I think there's going to be Nene Shade version, and then also Lumisimon Nene version as well. So I think those two might work in congruent with this guy, but there's always a possibility. Given in a Vile Bracelet, Espeon kind of went to the dark side a little bit. They're in some weird Wicked God, or like I think it was Digimon. This could work. Some other possibilities, we haven't seen Dash, or the one that when you attack you can switch over to another attack target. This is another possibility. But this is also vaccine, maybe. I'm not sure. There are some red and black Grizzlymon and Bearmons. So that could work. Is that possibility? The final being, given that Espemon's first appearance was in Ghost Game and then Dreamers, potentially Gamamon. Like it works alongside the Gamamon deck, although this would be very weird, but it is a possibility that they could work next to each other. So that's where I'm kind of, that's where I'm thinking that this is one of these lines. I could be totally off basis with this. My brain's been racking around this, and not so much for this character. It's Unchained. Moving on. Alright, so this is a bit of a new cut for this part of the video. I realized thinking about it that I wanted to make a little bit of change to Unchained's part. So first off, who is this guy's Digimon partner? Or who their partner? Considering this is yellow, and I don't think it's going to be a mixed brand. It might be a mixed brand, but it's not going to be a reverse color mixed brand. Let's talk about the possibilities. The first one is, I think, the original Kudamon. When Suzune looks down to see Unchained, and cool boy, we don't see a Digimon partner, and given that Unchained is very small, it could possibly be in their straitjacket. And additionally, this original Kudamon does not have a full Evolution 9 line to itself. It mainly shares off the back of the 2006 version, with it being its Mega could be either been Kintarosmon or Mintamamon. So it could have its own evolution line connect to that, but I think the possibility that it's going to get a new one. And also, Barrier does have support in the card game, so it could be based off of that. The next possibility, and this is where the changes I'm going to make, I believe that it could potentially be Witchmon for the partner. We're getting Witchiny support, and Unchained sounds like something that's Kingdom Hearts related, so maybe on that brand. We are getting support in BT19. We think Skullbalukimon, Wizardmon X. We might get a Dynasmon X. There could be a little bit more support for that. It is a possibility, but there's a possibility. Next up is classic Tapirmon. Tapirmon has technically one evolutionary line. It goes from Tapirmon to 8mon to Mammothmon, Skull Mammothmon. You could also work in the Balukimon to Manticoremon line, so that could have a secondary Mega with that. But the basis around that was to get rid of security in favor of doing certain effects, which also could work with the Witchiny as well, and that was the older Dynasmon field. So it can be a possibility, less likely. Next up is Starmon. We're getting Starmon in BT19, although I think it's going to look more towards Cross Wars, but they've done crazier things. I mean, the Dark Dragon sport, it's there, but it was more generic, so they could do that. There's not a ton of support for this throwing down bodies of Starmon, but who knows? They could make it happen. I do think there might be two Megas or maybe a Joggers between Dark Starmon and regular and Dark Star Super Dark Star Super Starmon and then Super Starmon. Another possibility is they go backwards. There is support for Leomon, and instead of choosing the rookie is a new Digimon, but the Mega is an old school and Regulamon. We get a brand new evolutionary line that goes along with this guy. That's also a possibility. It could even work with Elecmon Purple. So I think that's perfectly sustainable. Bring back an old Digimon and bring it forward. Next up is Luxmon. There is a lot of Angel Command Digimon, and maybe Unchained is like super righteous to vanquish all evil some sort. So maybe a Dark Angel kind of support or unrelenting judgment. There's a few possibilities we could do with that. There is the Ordinimon, Ophanimon Fallen Mode. I mean, there's even Mermuscusmon. So there is some possibility with that support. And then the other one is Makomon, which could also play into this as well. Makomon does have a full evolutionary line, but it doesn't have a rookie, and we could see a new rookie with another evolutionary line forward. With that said, I think the more possibility is I would say Kudamon, the Witchmon, and then Regulamon, and then Luxmon. Hopefully you guys have a wonderful day. I'm going to end it right here. The next big Digimon Liberator thing is Chapter 5, Part 2. And potentially we will be looking at the full evolution line for Senkomon and maybe Ghostmon as well. That's going to be into the future. So hopefully you guys have a wonderful Friday. See you guys next time.